Happy Masters Week. We just wrapped. Joseph, welcome me and you and everyone listening around the country and around the globe to the 7th episode of the Almost Athletic podcast. Joseph, how are you? Good to see you again.
I feel like a zillion bucks.
Good.
How do you feel? I'm munching on this orange right now, trying to get my vitamin C in because I'm also hungry.
Dude,
I'm
get your
hungry,
C
but I
up,
feel
you know
great.
what I'm saying?
With my feet
Heck
up.
yeah. I'm starving too. Me and you are both going to be, I feel like we're in both quite a mood today because, first of all, long week of training as now being teammates. And then, you've had school, I've had work, alongside to go in hand with your full Ironman training, my half Ironman training. What a week we have to recap here on the Almost Athletic podcast. I'm excited.
Two big sporting events.
True.
Monday, the national championship.
True.
Sunday just wrapped up the Masters. Some say the best
Dude, what a
weekend of
week.
golf. Where should we start? Should we start off with Monday? Let's do training. Let's start off with training. What did you do this week?
Yeah, okay. Good idea. What did I do this week? Let me pull up my Stravacation. Or actually, should I go to Training Peaks? What do you do? Strava or Training Peaks?
I'm a Strava guy.
Okay. I'll do Strava then. And just a pre-footnote here. I'm going to have one extra hour of training as far as bike, because on Monday, just a little pro tip when you do Training Peaks, and I wanted to discuss this with you. So you can't, if the workout is already loaded into your
Zwift?
Your Zwift. Once it's already loaded into Zwift, you don't need to start your watch for this because it didn't record two different workouts, which is what I did on
Yes,
Monday.
It'll record two different ones. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. But let's get that out of the way first.
I still use my watch to see my heart rate because I haven't connected my heart rate to Zwift. I don't know if you have. I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah.
But I still use my watch to see what my heart rate's at.
Yeah.
I
wear my little chest strap, and it connects to my computer. Or I guess technically,
I think I can connect it. I just haven't researched it yet. I just haven't done the research.
Yeah.
But I think I can connect it too.
Hey, that's something. That's Anyways, just another way we can get better, Okay.
Yes.
So, let's see. So this week, how do you do the full, everything? Right now, I just see run, ride, and swim. Is there a way to see the total hours?
Go to home.
Maybe not.
Mine says your weekly snapshot. It's the very top thing.
Okay, here we go. Weekly snapshot. 10 activities. So it would technically be 9 activities. 8 hours and 50 minutes, which would it's 7 hours and 50 minutes. And then distance, we'll just say it's distance right now on Strava says 104.94, but it's probably more around 100 or 198 because the Zwift workout I did Monday, I picked the hilliest course of all time, and I only went 5 miles, but I was going for an hour at 6 miles an hour or 5 miles an hour or something like that. So, and then that broken up would be running would be 14.5 miles in 2 hours and 23 minutes. Ride, all ride would be, and this would be 80 miles in 4 hours and 12 minutes, including a 2-hour bike ride today. And then this week's swimming was 3,800 yards in 1 hour and 13 minutes. So a little bit lighter, but we're going to have a big week swimming, and I'll tease that when we talk about kind of our upcoming week. So that's what I got. My thoughts on it. Good week. Didn't miss a workout, which I'm happy with. Had a rest day on Saturday, and that included me kind of switching up the order. Did a long run Friday. I was supposed to rest Friday, but I felt like Saturday would be the better day for that because I went turkey hunting for opening day on Saturday, which was fun. I can tell a quick story about that later, but and then Sunday this morning did a 2-hour bike ride on the trainer. So that was boring, but watched just an entire. Yeah, I just watched an entire movie the entire time, and it was fine. So
which one?
Anyway, felt like I watched a new movie on Netflix called Damsel. It's with Millie Bobby Brown. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones-esque style. There's a dragon, a princess. She tames the dragon in the end. That kind of deal. I'm a sucker for a movie with any sort of sword fighting in it. So,
wow.
Yeah, man, it was good stuff.
Yeah, count me out for that one. Well, that's good. Is your stuff already in for next week? You got a big swim week next week?
No, but I will share. I'm hoping to have a big swim week next week because on Thursday evening, I will be open water swimming. First one of the year. First time getting the wetsuit out since October. So excited. Really, actually, really excited for that because the way they're doing it
At
now
Shelby
is once a
Farms?
month. They're having yeah in the lake. So they're doing an evening, and then they have like food trucks, and you get like food and a beer. I think after every once a month in the evening, they're going to do an evening swim. So looking forward to that. I think
I
my
think I
brother's going to
remember
come with
seeing
me.
that.
His first open water swim. Yeah.
There we go.
So his first open water swim, I'm fired up to kind of see how he does. I think it's going to be a little bit of a what's going on here kind of action. But hey,
100%.
we live and we learn.
If it was anything like my first ever open water swim, I remember it so vividly. I was training for my first triathlon. I was at a friend's lake house, and I was like, I'm going to try open water here. What better place to do it than a freaking lake? And you can see my graph, like my map. I was on the Apple Watch back then. It could not have been more curved. And I remember
Oh, yeah.
getting back to the dock, and my friend's dad was like, "Where were you going?" And I was like, I was going straight." And he was like, "No, you were not."
Was this in
So
Greer's Ferry?
yes, it was. And
Nice.
thankfully, I've gotten better since then. But my first open water swim, I was like, dude, I don't know how people do this.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
I completely agree. My first open
I
water
hope Baker
swim
doesn't.
was.
I hope Baker doesn't listen to this, so he doesn't get rattled or frazzled.
I think
But
he'll be fine. It's kind of one of those things you're never gonna know until you get in the water and try it. Like you can do all the prep you want, but my first one was actually the day before my first triathlon, so that was
wow.
fun to wait that long. And so I get in the water. It was me and Jason Lyle. We went and swam, and I just kind of had no idea how to sight. I just figured it out, as you go. I think that's the best way to do it personally. It's just full reaction. That's when
Trial
you're
and error.
your peak athleticism. Yeah, definitely. So, all right, you go ahead with your training update.
Man, it's been a gritty week. Let me tell you what. Sunday, I had the half marathon, like we talked about last week. And then we just went right into triathlon training. He said that I was scheduled for 14 hours of training, and he bumped it down. I did 12 and a half hours of training. So he was gracious, gave me a little bit off. Only 12 and a half hours, which is quite a bit. Then I started feeling kind of under the weather. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little congested right now.
Voice sounds
didn't
good.
feel too good. Well, I think I went through a whole roll of toilet paper this week, blowing my nose. But especially towards the end of the week, I had a terrible run on Friday. Felt terrible. Like 4 miles in, I was like shaking, took a gel. Thankfully, I got a little better. But overall, the week did 20 miles running, 7,600 yards swimming, and then, I mean, this says 118 miles biking, which I feel like is pretty accurate. But sometimes you can't trust the Zwift stuff. But I did almost 7 hours on the bike with a big
Nice.
workout today. I was actually really nervous for my workout today. Because in Training Peaks, he says 3 hours, it was a brick, 3 hours on the bike, and then a 15-minute run. And he said, do a flat to rolling hill course. Well, spoiler alert,
Brother.
that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in Knoxville.
No.
So I spent about almost 2 hours trying to research a flat route on Map My Ride. It's a website that has bike routes. And I was just coming up with nothing. But I did find this route that was probably, I can't remember, maybe it said like 400 to 500 feet of elevation less than my normal route. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try this one. New route, go explore a little bit. It'll be fun. And thankfully, Saturday afternoon, I went and drove the course. It took me about an hour and a half, over an hour and a half.
Wow.
Come to find out, there was a road closure, and so I had to even adjust my route even more. But thankfully, I did that and got a little bit of a lay of the land, scouted out, do a little course recon before I went out there on my own. But yeah, today I went out there, went way better than I expected. Started to feel better. I was a little snotty, but I started to feel better and didn't break any records as far as speed goes. But it was pretty fun. And then hopped off the bike, did a little 15-minute jog. Didn't feel terrible. Felt nice. It was a beautiful
Yeah.
day out. Felt nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was fun. But yeah, it was a tough week to get through. If I'm being completely
Yeah.
honest.
Well, I'm right
But
there
we're
with
done.
you
We'll
on
see.
the sickness part. What's that?
You're a little under the weather. You're a little under the weather.
Yeah, man.
You've been eating little
Um,
cuties.
No, I need to. I need to get on the vitamin C train. But Wednesday morning, man, I just woke up with like a slight fever, probably kind of sweaty, which was not cool. Kind of like, you awake and you're like, oh, like, why am I awake yet? Like, feel like you haven't slept long enough. And Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like I said, it was one of those, toilet paper roll in the car kind of day for me. Blow in, throw it in the coffee cup, blow it, throw it in the disposable coffee cup. And so, I didn't feel great at all, especially Thursday, which was my, quote unquote hard day, which thankfully this week was a little bit on the easier side. So that was just like a 53-minute sweet spot, which that was my morning workout, brother. Like 30 minutes into that thing, I was like, I am like lightheaded, dizzy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this. And just gutted it out. That was the day I was doing the day in the life video, so I was like, I have to finish this. And then in the afternoon, did a sprint workout, and so very, very slow rest periods, and then very, very fast 30-second 30-second repeats. So anyway, it was fun though. Speaking of Knoxville, did you go to the baseball games this weekend? I hear that was the place to be.
Yeah, I went on Saturday night after my trash run. I went to the baseball game, which probably wasn't the smartest thing, but it was a beautiful day outside. I couldn't pass it up.
No,
And maybe that's why I felt better today. Maybe that's what healed me. But yeah, it was
honestly,
fun. It was a packed stadium. I was in standing room only, so that also didn't help. But
yeah,
the Vols had a little comeback Saturday night. They swept the series against LSU, and they were down by 1 late. They couldn't get hits off LSU for the first, I think, 6 innings. Yeah, bottom of the 6th, they went on a little run, and then had a home run, I think, in the 8th, and sealed the deal basically. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Open. Yeah,
man. I didn't go to the spring game though.
Was there? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you next. Was there any buzz on Rocky Top about the spring game? Because I watched it, I was pretty underwhelmed, honestly.
Well, you know how spring games go. They don't show anything.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
One of my roommates went, and I think Nico played all right. Gaston Moore, backup.
Gaston Moore looked good, man.
He did look good. He was in my TA class last semester. I'm actually friends with him, funny enough.
Let's go. Shout out Gaston Moore. Maybe we'll get him on the pod one day.
Yeah. I could probably get him on the pod one day.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Saturdays, I'll tell a quick story. Went turkey hunting, and I'm usually not a turkey hunting guy. I mean, I've been once before, and one of my buddies was asking, hey, opening day, you free Saturday? I was like, I can be free. I got a rest day. I can switch some things up. So anyway, woke up at 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, and which, let me tell you, was very early for a sick guy. And so went out there, borrowed everything that I was wearing. I didn't know. I mean, I wore a one camo shirt that I have, luckily, from like 10 years ago. Still fit, actually. It was like, I think, my brother's. So wore that out there. Got some pants for my friend. A turkey vest with a little seat on the bottom. Was using one of his dad's shotguns. It was a good time. First of all, beautiful morning. Crisp 48 degrees. That slowly increased to about 75 at the end of the day. But anyway, so we get out there, we get on a tree line, and we're sitting there, and we just hear one of the little gobble. And my buddy says, "All right, let's go. We gotta go to where the turkeys are." And they were, to the north. And so, we go over there. We spot the guy we're looking for. So we're sitting on this little embankment, kind of creeping over, looking over, peering around the side. And he's like, I think we can move up just a little bit more, get on that tree line, and then, call him in, like, just seduce him a little bit. And so anyway, we get on this tree line. We see the turkey's about 150 yards out. He's not saying a word, no peeps. And so anyway, we're calling him in, Ryan Peck. He's got the I don't know, little woman calls, whatever they're called, women turkeys, hen, I don't know. And so he's calling him in, and I finally see him about 3 minutes before Ryan takes the shot. And he's calling him in. I'm like, kill him, take the shot. Plug my ears. Kaboom! Missed him. Right, turkey starts to fly away. Ryan stands up. Kaboom! One more time. Missed him again. And the turkey was long gone by then. But man, we did figure out what happened. So we were thinking we had a certain type of shell in our gun, Ryan's gun, 3.0, 3-inch shell. Turns out, or we thought we had a 3.5. Turns out we had a 3. Now I'm no hunter, but there's a big difference in a 1/2 inch, let me tell you. So anyway, we missed the turkey, but man, we heard about 6 in the 2.5 hours that we were out there. So anyway, it ended up being a good day. Outside of the missed shot, good camaraderie. It got hot, real hot towards the end of the day, or towards the end of the morning. But yeah, man, first real turkey experience. I definitely will be going back soon, hopefully, because it was really fun. I need to buy my own camo. I did have my own pair of boots, knee-high wader boots, which was good. So didn't really have to borrow any two sizes too big. But man, it was fun. So I will be going back.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm also glad you shared that story, because otherwise we would have had no idea that you went turkey hunting, because you had evidently nothing to show for it.
This is true. Yeah, we did not have any meat to show for it. I was fully prepared to kill a turkey. I'll tell you. We were
It's kind of like
trying
the
to get on another
analogy.
one.
If it's kind of like the saying, if a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear, did it make a noise?
Yeah, I mean,
Did Ryan and Sumner really go turkey hunting this weekend?
we did. Here, hang on. Let me just do this real quick. Here we go. For the people. This is for the people.
Dang,
That's
bro, you
where
look
we
so
were sitting.
country.
Dude, I look freaking.
You
I
look
look
like
like
you're in
I'm
your
ready to
natural
go.
habitat.
I mean, man, I'm going back, man. I am going back. So,
Good.
and
I believe in you.
I want to. Here's what I think. This year is going to be the year that I become a little bit more of a hunter and a gatherer. I want to be. That's something I want to add to my hobby list. I feel like it's fully training right now, and there's a spot. Luckily, most of your hunting happens from November to February, which is in pretty good time as far as training goes. You're pretty much only running,
Mm-hmm.
so you can get your runs in either the morning or the afternoon and hunt in the other time. So, and it's not like you really need to plan your runs in the morning, because it's not there's no heat to deal with, really. It's all pretty much cold, so you can always run in the afternoon after you take a fat nap from hunting. So this is the year, man. This
Well,
is the
that's
year
good.
I'm coming. Those turkey and deer and ducks better watch out.
There we go. Sumner's New Year's resolution in April: become a gatherer and a hunter.
Yes.
You heard it here.
All right.
You
Well,
heard it here
let's
first.
move on. Share with me
Let's move.
your thoughts.
Let's move on and jump back a few days in time.
Sure.
Monday was the national championship, the NCAA men's basketball national championship game. And on Sunday, when we recorded our last podcast, I said that UConn covering the spread of 6.5 was unlikely. And I suggested the contrary. Well, fast forward to now, we know that was not the case. UConn just made the hardest tournament in arguably the world. Actually, probably not the world. One of the hardest tournaments in general. They made it look easy.
Mhm.
I think they won every game by double digits. Dan Hurley putting on a masterclass, getting his team right. He's a madman, if you've seen him coach. Getting his team fired up, and they play like him, honestly. And I wouldn't say it was the most exciting national championship, to be honest. I went to bed at halftime because it started at 9:20 to revisit that real quick. But UConn, they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're not even a Power 5 team.
Mm-mm.
They are not in the Power 5 conference, which is crazy. But they are good at basketball. That is for sure.
That was
What are your thoughts on the national championship?
I watched it all, and thank God somebody beat Purdue. just as I said right before the tournament started. Somebody's going to beat him. And I didn't think it was going to take that long, but, I did pick UConn to win the national championship. And so I got that right. But yeah, the game, Dan Hurley, I saw a good, kind of picture of what Dan Hurley is as a coach. It's like, I think the tweet was somewhere along the lines of Dan Hurley is like if a UConn fan was coaching UConn, or if a good fan, like a fan of UConn was also good at coaching basketball. And yeah, that's pretty spot on. Did you see him push his player during the game?
No, I didn't see that, but I
So
don't
he's standing.
disbelieve it happened.
There was 2 minutes left in the game, and there was good night, man. I'm getting some notifications. Hang on, let me turn this on. Do not disturb. So the guy is standing on the kind of the upper out of bounds sideline, and right in front of the coaching box, and Dan Hurley just for some reason comes out onto the court and just shoves the player forward, and the ref is like, no, this is a delay a game going the other way. And then Dan Hurley is just like, oh, what? And it's like, dude, you can't come on the court and interfere, obviously, And
He's
so
nuts,
I thought that was,
but I love it.
dude. He is a certified insane person. I thought that was hilarious. And then after then another thing that was resurfacing from a couple years ago when they got beat. I think they may have gotten beaten the first round or second round, but he was like, you better get us now because no one's gonna be getting us in the next couple years. And boy, was he right, So he's got a little dynasty going. I think there was some rumors with not necessarily with him flirting with other jobs, but other people were saying, what if Kentucky or the NBA throws him a bag? He shut those down real quick by throwing his wife underneath the bus. I thought that was kind of funny too. So
what do you say about his wife? I didn't catch that.
he was like, I may coach the basketball team, but she runs the family. So he's like, we're not leaving. He was like, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, well, he may have a little dynasty building, but how about the fall of another dynasty? Cal to Arkansas. Who would have thought?
That was weird.
I don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
is the guy from BYU, that Kentucky guy, is he any better? I mean, I know he played there.
I have no idea. I just saw a video of him ripping his shirt off, and I thought he's going to be.
I don't think he has a tournament. The BYU coach who came over, he doesn't have a tournament win, does he?
At BYU, I have no idea.
They lost to Duquesne. They lost to your boys at Duquesne.
Duquesne, yeah, for sure. But I have no idea. I try not to. Kentucky's already Tennessee's little brother, so I try not to stay too locked in. But Coach Cal leaving I did know that right when it came out, as everybody else did. And man, seeing him in a different shade of he's always been kind of in the same color blue. It seems like since I've been alive. And so seeing him in red and gray and white was very, very strange. Almost why go to the same conference? Take another either an NBA job or I don't know.
Well, I watched the video. I watched the video he put out to BBN, Big Blue Nation, and I think it was just a mutual separation. He'd been there for I think 15 years. 15 years, I think.
Yeah. And so he came there in 2010 or 2011.
He came out. He left after the 2008 Memphis season.
Okay.
But I think it was just a mutual separation. He had done all that he could do there, and he said that Kentucky needs a new face, and so he went to Arkansas, which is weird. It being red, like you said, and also I don't know if you saw this clip when he was like, I met with a team. There is no team.
He's I met with one player. Had a one-on-one.
I think there's 3 players that were still in Fayetteville, and they're all 3 in the portal. So there's literally just no team there.
No.
So I mean,
man.
He's going to do something, but I mean, it is Coach Cal. I think he still is a beast. He's still got a lot of ball left in him. So I think he'll do fine there.
Yeah, I do too. All the best. I mean, as much as Memphis fans hate Coach Cal, I've always been a fan. I feel like if I was a top 5 player in high school or something, I would be strongly considering Coach Cal. So all the best. I like Coach Cal.
Yeah. Speaking of college sports and Coach Cal, I have a burning question.
Okay.
This one's been red hot on my mind. I've been battling back and forth. Which one would I rather want? Would you rather your college sports team to win a national championship in any sport of your choosing, or the USA men's soccer team to win the World Cup? I think I have an opinion on this. I think I've solidified my opinion, but I want to know what yours is.
Do you want to know my opinion before you share yours?
Do you have an opinion locked in? I don't want my opinion to sway yours.
I don't. First of all, I don't know your opinion really. Like I brushed over the agenda for today, so I think I lost that question in the mix. But
Well, do you have an opinion on it? I don't want what I say.
There's one that's extremely selfish, and then there's one that's, unifying to an entire country. So it's almost like you have to give up, your personal. I feel like that would be you gotta almost go with, I'm wearing a darn American flag on my hat right now. I gotta choose Team USA win the World Cup. I feel like that'd be pretty awesome.
So, yeah. Okay. So that was my point. My thought process was, man, I would love the Memphis Tigers to win a natty. But if the USA won the World Cup, where soccer is not our sport over here, we're not known for being good at soccer. If USA were to win the World Cup, how unifying would that be for our country, especially amidst all of the recent turmoil that's been going on? I feel like if USA won, that could somehow bring back like American nationalism and pride. Maybe this is me just dreaming up scenarios that would never happen, but I think that would be awesome if doing that would accomplish bringing the nation together. But granted, this is a hypothetical situation. But also, if you think about it from the flip side, the city of Memphis has also been going through some turmoil, especially since COVID and crime spikes and breaking crime records in the city. Like if the Grizzlies or the Memphis Tigers were to win a national championship, if that would unify the city at all, which is why I'm going with, I would rather USA win the World Cup because that's a nation over a city. Although both would be extremely cool, and probably both are really far-fetched, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
I mean, I think that... Yeah. If you can guarantee, like unbelievable patriotism and nationalism and all the things, then yeah, obviously. But, I feel like even if we did win the World Cup, 36 hours later, we'd go straight back to hating each other.
No. We would be having parades. It would be red, white, and blue everywhere. It would be talked about. It would be bragging rights. Because isn't the World Cup every 4 years? And we have 4 years to brag.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it'd be special.
It would be special.
Now, I think
that was my burning.
The NBA point is very interesting. If it were a substitute for the Memphis Grizzlies to win an NBA title versus the USA, I'm probably picking the Grizzlies. To be completely honest.
Okay, well, yeah. When I initially said it, I just wrote your team. So you can pick a team, whatever team you want to win a title.
I'm not picking Tennessee to win a college national championship because that will probably happen in my lifetime. And then, I don't really care if they win a national championship in basketball or not. I mean, Tennessee is going to be around. They're always going to be flirting, I feel like, as long as, we don't have another 20 years 2002 to 2020. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I think if you substitute the Grizzlies, I'm picking the Grizzlies. But if it's, Tennessee related or college related, I'm picking, the boys in red, white, and blue.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't think we could go wrong. I don't think we can go wrong with either way. I wouldn't be mad if either happened.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well,
do you want to get into a little bit of the golf tournament?
Yes, the golf tournament. Let's talk specifically about the golf tournament first. The Masters just wrapped up.
Yeah. Yep.
Can't beat it.
Where do you want to start?
A polo I wore this week. You go ahead. Give us a rundown of how the weekend went for the best golfers in the world.
Well, I was pretty tuned in this year, more than other years, especially because, I mean, obviously Tiger Woods is in the mix. Max Homa's playing well going in. Scotty, obviously. All the live guys are back. Brooks Koepka, John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, and then several others, Cam Smith. Everybody's together. So obviously it's first time they're all together. So, Thursday, Friday, pretty happy-go-lucky. DeChambeau's leading after the first day. I was kind of thinking, if DeChambeau's going to win this thing, I'm going to tune out real quick. So he's like lifting signs above his head, like telling people to move on. Like I thought it's pretty funny. First of all, pretty funny. But just not a big DeChambeau guy. But I am a big Max Homa, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy guy. And so kind of a dream weekend for a lot of golf fans. First of all, the course, what a great weekend as far as course goes. Rained a little bit Thursday. It was kind of quicker than everyone had imagined, but the high wind Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday made for kind of us golf heads to really be like, oh, wow, this is going to be, the actual Augusta National versus, the past 3 or 4 years where it's just soaking wet and birdies are the winning scores, negative 20, basically. And so anyway, Saturday, Sunday, the golf course is just playing like ridiculously hard. And so it's a ball striker's course, and Scotty Scheffler is the best ball striker on tour. And so is Max Homa and Colin Morikawa can be when he plays well. So really good leaderboard in going into Sunday. I was really excited to watch this weekend. Yesterday was pretty awesome. Saturday, I'm saying, because Scotty bogeyed 10 and then bogeyed 11 or 12. And then on 13, just buries like a 50-foot eagle putt to just jump right back in the mix. So that was kind of sick. And then Max Homa just like steady as a wind cruise ship or whatever on a sea. He made one bogey on Saturday, just right up there in the mix. And so Sunday, I was thinking, the famous quote from Max. Reporters were asking him, what are you kind of telling yourself going into Sunday, that kind of deal? And he was like, just kind of telling myself that I'm a dog and I'm ready for this moment, which, let me tell you, gave me chills down my spine. I was so fired up. And, he's an easy guy to root for. Max is one of the guys. He's always been good with fans, good on Twitter. And so, anyway, Scotty ended up winning, which was probably the most likely scenario. So, couldn't happen to a better guy. He's going home probably already to be with his pregnant wife. And so, I got another burning question for you. If you really want to go into that after I get your thoughts on the Masters. So it's all you.
Yeah, I bet I know what your burning question is. And I was going to ask you the same thing. But yeah, I liked I thought it shaked out well this year. I liked all the names at the top. There was a bunch of recognizable names. A few funny things happen. Wyndham Clark tries to throw shade at the live guys for only playing 54 holes. Then he misses the cut. Because, I'm a big live guy. I think it's
Tough scene.
Fine. I think if you want, they're just being honest. They'd rather have the money. And, hey, that's a lot of money to turn down.
So you're saying the being on live is fine. The live tour isn't as great as the PGA Tour, and that's just a fact.
I guess the figureheads backing the live tour are not very nice people. It's a little shady organization, but
no.
I'm fine with the live people. I'd probably do the same thing, for being honest.
Yeah, no hate towards the live people.
No hate towards I think they get unwarranted hate. And Rory is annoying. He annoys me. Being a political leader, that's why he can't ever. Hasn't been playing well. Also, I think it's funny he never does well at the Masters. It's kind of sad, but it makes me laugh.
It is sad.
Max Homa is the boy. He's funny. He's a little witty on Twitter. I probably wanted him to win the most out of all of them. But like you said, they were all pretty steady. Scotty just outlasting the rest. He is good, and
he's so good.
You said it was probably the most likely thing to happen. According to Vegas, it was the most likely thing to happen. To win the Masters, I think he was like plus 400, plus 450, which is like crazy low odds.
Did you see Dave Portnoy's bet that he put on Scotty?
Yeah, and I saw Big Cats on Max Homa. I mean, Dave is just
Yeah.
throwing around a ridiculous amount of money
300
on
grand.
stuff.
300 grand hit. He
It's
won like
hard to
1.6
fathom.
mil. Yeah.
So hard to fathom. But I mean, hey, yeah, Scotty's good. But I think your burning question is, would you leave the Masters if my wife was giving birth?
My
Is that your question?
Yeah. You answer, because I'm not leaving. No chance.
If I'm in Scotty's, we talked about this, me and my buddies. If
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
in
it definitely
Scotty's
depends.
position,
Yeah.
if I'm in Scotty's position, I've already won the Masters, and this is my first kid. And they were trying to make the money argument. Well, think about how much money you'd miss out of. Well, if it was a money issue, he'd be on the Live Tour.
Yeah.
Money is not an issue for Scotty Scheffler. And if it's getting a green jacket, he already has one of those. And it's your firstborn, I don't know if it's boy or girl, but
Yeah.
I think he's a very family-oriented man. I think he is a man of faith, and I think he said he would choose to be with his wife. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did. He said if he gets the call, somebody asked him, do you think she'll actually call you? And like if he was winning and she went into labor, do you think she'd even call? And his answer was, she better. I thought that was
I mean, it's
kind of
crazy.
funny.
I mean, I guess I'm thinking of what would be a prouder achievement in my life, being a dad or being a Masters champion. And
Yeah, that is the question.
I think, I mean, it's a hard question, but I like being a dad. I'd be way prouder of that. Like that's kind of the reason why we're here on Earth, to be fruitful and multiply. And missing my firstborn's birth, I don't think that would look very well of me as a man.
Yeah,
that wouldn't.
I think it all depends for me. Or keep going. Go ahead.
I don't think that would. I don't think that would speak very well of me. But there are stipulations. Like I was thinking, if it's my second kid, if I didn't have a green jacket, if I was on hole 10 on a Sunday and I'm leading by 3 strokes,
yeah,
I think there are different scenarios that you can play out. But I'm glad it didn't happen for Scotty.
Right.
I'm glad it didn't happen. I'm glad he was able to stick it out and win, because I think he is the true champion, the true best player in golf right now. But there are some little
the fair rules that you have to put like it's Saturday, it's Sunday, you haven't started the round, you're up by an agreed upon number of strokes, 2 or 3, and you get the phone call. Like you still have got a full round to play, but you're winning. So Sunday morning rolls around and you get a phone call. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And you don't have a Masters yet. You've never won one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And if
it's
me,
I'll just say, go ahead. What's your answer? You're finishing the round?
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Just like Jordan Belfort. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm not in that situation, so I don't have to make that decision. But I'll tell you what, I sure wish I was. Yeah. Wouldn't that be something cool?
I want to play Augusta.
And I want to be good at golf.
Yeah. I don't think that your golf future career is, with your knees is what I'm referring to. Is it twist too much? Too much torque?
I'm only 23. If Tiger Woods can do it with his back issues, I can do it with my knee issues.
True. Let's talk about Eldrick. I'm sure you have some thoughts on Tiger Woods.
I do have some thoughts on Tiger Woods, and this is going to be a little hot take segment here. Sumner probably isn't going to agree with me, but I just think it's time to be honest about Tiger and really golf in general. I don't understand the obsession with Tiger Woods for our generation. I was born in 2000. You were born in 99. Here's some statistics. Here's some history for you. Before the 2019 Masters, the last Masters win for Tiger Woods was in 2005. I was 4. You were you were 5, I guess.
I was 6.
And I'll tell you one thing.
I was 6.
Well, it's April. You were born in June or July, whatever month it is.
I was born in July, so I was 6. Yeah, 5.
2005.
Bad at math. I know, we got it. You go ahead.
So we were 4 and 5 years old, and I'll tell you one thing: I did
Yes.
not watch that Masters, and if I did,
Me neither.
I think there's a study you don't remember anything until after you're 4 years old. So that's his last Masters win. The last major win he had was in 08. Now I watched a lot of sports when I was 8. I was really big into sports when I was 8 or 7, but it wasn't golf. I didn't watch any golf when I was 8 years old. It was boring. That's what my grandfather watched. So that was in his prime. And that's before we all watched golf. 100%. And if you said you watched golf during that time, you're lying.
I didn't.
So that was Tiger's prime. Now let's move forward a few years into what our generation would remember. The key dates here: 09, 2017, and 2021. And if you know anything about Tiger Woods, he went on a little run during those years. Had to take some time off golf. Here's what happened during those years. 09, he had allegedly a 31-month affair. His car crashes in his driveway. He's on drugs. This is when his supermodel wife beats open the car windows with a golf club, and he gets like a $200 fine. Fast forward to 2017, he gets a DUI. And would you look at that? 5 drugs in his system, including Ambien, which is a sleeping pill, and Xanax, painkiller. Granted, he had back problems, but you probably shouldn't be driving on
guys
Xanax.
In quite a bit of pain around those days.
Well, hey, maybe he can find a driver, I'm sure. Passing out behind the wheel. 2021, similar story, car crash. A little less details on this one, but empty pill bottles in the car.
Just off of back surgery. So,
I mean, are we justifying driving under the influence?
No, I'm just saying, I'm justifying the painkillers is what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's fine. I took painkillers for my surgeries, but I stayed my butt at home. Anyways, this is all just kind of a hot take argument. Obviously, Tiger Woods is a goat at golf.
A lot of people have this argument. So I'm glad you're making it. Yeah,
I respect him. He reminds me of Kobe. Like, their mentality, crazy hard workers, extreme perfectionists in their craft, and he's resilient. After the back surgery, I mean, he came back and won the 2019 Masters. That is an exceptional story. But everyone was obsessed with him.
And the Tour Championship in 2018.
Yeah, and that's great. But between the years of us being 7 and 19, when we really would watch golf, he didn't play. So I just don't understand the obsession, really, from people our age.
I think I can explain the obsession if you'll bid me your time. Obviously 2009 was probably his lowest point. I'm not gonna say the 2017 and 2021. And 2021 was probably as far as like your actual life goes, like quality of life, probably his lowest point. But as far as like public lowest point, would be the cheating scandal. And listen, I'm not here to judge anybody's morals or anything. People choose to live their lives anyway. And Tiger, obviously has chosen to live his life back then. Probably still now, in that way. So, inexcusable in my opinion. But, probably not, wasn't going to work out anyway. He's still a single man. So, anyway, moving forward. So obviously goes through all the injuries and stuff from 2011 into 2018 or so. So that's what we saw was a former great being injured for, 8 years. So in our minds, this whole time we're thinking, man, this guy, like, I thought he was supposed to be, the chosen one and great. And then, slowly we see him start to play again. And then he hurts his back, gets it fused, has the DUI, and it's, another step back. And so we see him taking these steps back, and then he starts to gain a little momentum, and his attitude changes towards other people, and he starts being, a little more nice, a little more friendly Tiger instead of the killer, cold-blooded killer that he was in 2005 and 2006. And then 2019, or really 2018, is the first time our generation and really the generation, 10 years above us is like, that's it's our first time saying, oh, that's the guy, and then it's the generation above us saying that's the guy we remember from our 12-year-old, time. Which now obviously those guys are now 40 and 45. But anyway, so 2018 he wins the tour championship, which no one ever thought he was going to win it again. Period. And then not even I think it was like 8 months later, wins the Masters, and it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's actually the best golfer in the world again. Finally, after 15 years, really, of like trying to get back. And then, we recognize his greatness now as a fan, 20 years after, 15 years after his, last win, to really 10, I guess, after his last major win. So it's like all of the stuff that we had heard about him, as kids was validated as now adults, which I think makes the aura a little bit more, a little heightened. So those are my thoughts.
I think that's a great explanation, if I'm being honest. I think you killed that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think that's a good way of putting it, for sure. And I love a good comeback story. I mean, I'm
Dude,
super thankful
I
got to watch him win the Masters 2019. And kind of like you said, everything that we heard about him was actually true. And he came back and
the
did
return
it
to
against
glory.
all odds.
Yeah.
The return to glory against all odds. And
literally, like,
so it's
and
cool.
you think about that got everyone that's our age into golf. Like, yeah, I played golf before, but like I didn't care. Like I was never gonna go like literally buy club, like actually invest my time and money into clubs and like play. But like post 2019, everybody played golf, and then COVID hit, and even more people played golf. And it's just like, and then 2021 happens where he's had surgery on his back, and he's hosting his tournament, and you can tell in an interview that he's just like he's just on painkiller. Like you can just tell that he was not there. And then a day later is in that car crash, and everyone's like, no, not Tiger. It can't be happening again, our guy. And that's why everybody's still just like, is he going to do it again? Because we've seen him do it. Just now it's like he can't, like he's never going to have the mobility to play again. So, or at least play at a really, really high level. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's my Tiger Tail take. But we're at 45 minutes.
Well,
It's been a good pod.
I know. I would just like to throw out there on that real quick. I'm kind of playing devil's advocate. I don't really fully believe all the bad things I said about Tiger, although they are factual. Those things did happen. But I just wanted to have that little argument in here.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's definitely done some things that are, pretty crappy as far as like being a good person. But he also built, he's built a lot of St. Jude. So
yeah,
that's another knock on his or plus on his resume. Anyway, all right. Well, I'll get us. You cool if we close it up? I mean, I feel like that's a good way to tie the knot on this thing.
Yeah, wrap it up.
All right. So our good word comes from church this morning, and the good word is get off your phone, stay up late, those kinds of things. The preacher said today, he kind of went on a little tangent about this. He said, there's a good. You need to get off your phone because when you're 85 and laying on your deathbed, you're never going to wish that your screen time had gone up by 25%, or you're never going to wish that you didn't stay up another 20 minutes to finish the game watching it with your kids. So that is something I plan on taking into fatherhood and into, my life in the next, 60 years or whatever I have left. So that's the good word, man. That really was a reality check. Felt good to kind of be like, oh yeah, maybe I should, do the little fun things in life, like go get a Dairy Queen Blizzard, which is what I'm about to do.
Well, you go do that. It's also probably a little compelling too, because I'm sure around the time he was saying that, you got your screen report on your phone, because I always get mine on Sunday, usually when I'm at church. So it's definitely eye-opening.
Yeah.
But yeah, good word.
I got my screen report today when I was grinding out those 2 hours bike. So, but yeah, usually I am. I went to the late service today, but usually I am in church. So yeah, definitely. All right, man. Well, that was good. Hey, if you're listening and you made it this far, follow our Instagram page at Almost Athletic Pod, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you.